Good evening, people. My name is Malik. Here I've made a hobby aircraft with a 1200 kV motor, inspired by my friend's first maiden flight's crash. So that was the reason behind this, and there's another reason behind this for me to get into this hobby for the first time ever. And as per my calculation, I have made an aircraft. This is the second model. The first model was flown a week ago, and it was pretty good unless the CG wasn't right, because the fuselage itself was very heavy for the motor, and also there was a strong wind going on, so we weren't able to control the aircraft properly, and we had to reduce the weight. So we removed the landing gear and launch it. We had to do a hand launch. So there were some issues with that. So this is the what do you say, the refurbished, or what do you say, a kind of a refurbished version of the same aircraft. Looks a little bigger than that. I mean, the fuselage is a little wider, half an inch wider than the previous one, which I made, and a little bit of refinement here and there for better aerodynamics and better stability. So I'm still planning to install nose gear, which will be mounted on the rudder. So I'm still not sure. I want to do a first maiden flight on this and decide if I have to go for it or not, because I definitely need a landing gear. After breaking two props on the previous flight, I do not want to break any more props on this. And and let me walk you through the construction of this. This is a pure foam, kind of a Dollar Tree foam, which is double the size of the normal foam which we design. And I've made a tube section with a small cone at the back, so that it gives a very good shape. And the first thing is the motor. Right, this is an Emax 1200 kV 2822 motor, which could give an approximate thrust of 700 grams according to the manual. And it's been mounted on a small piece of plywood which I took from my kids. What do you say? It's one of the parts from my kids' toys. So it was very useful for me to drill a hole, and it was very easy for me to drill a hole and mount this on. And I made a small bonnet here so that the wires goes through, and if I have to work through it, I can work through it. And here is your wire which goes to your ESC, which is the electronic speed controller. Alright, so the ESC gives a BEC wire of approximately 5 volts to the receiver, and the receiver distributes it to the servos. These are the servos. Servos are the ones which helps the aircraft's the movable mechanisms move. For example, the ailerons. These are the ailerons. This is a rudder, and this is the elevator. All right, and these are the servos for the rear ones. So it's installed with a 1.6 millimeter 1.6 millimeter push rods, or any rod which is a little flexible, not too flexible. I would say you should be able to mold it easily. And also when it moves, it should be stiff. It should not bend, otherwise your rudder or the elevator will not work, because it bends off, right? So I have not determined the center of gravity yet after placing all the electronics inside the aircraft. But before doing that, I wanted to bind it. So I have bound the DX7 Spectrum transmitter along with a DX6 Spectrum receiver. So just to test it. Alright, so we're just running 4 channels now. Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 3 and Channel 4 for the motor. Alright, so rest of it, as a beginner, I do not want to go I don't want to make it more complicated. So let me start off with 4 channels. So here it is. This will be your rudder moment. Looks fine, and I have already trimmed it over here and on the transmitter as well. All right, and here we have the ailerons. Sorry, yeah. Here we have the ailerons. Instead of installing individual servos on right and left wing, I have made it as one single servo just to reduce weight. It wouldn't matter, but also I didn't want to make it. I don't want too many wires to go through here and there. Since it's the first flight, maybe the next one I would go for dual servos. Yeah, so that's it. And the other one is your elevator movement. And also let me show you. I don't have no I have not installed the prop for safety purposes because the prop is very sharp, and I'm not sure if it's advisable to do it over here. But yeah, let me show you. This is the motor. It looks very small, but trust me, it's got a very good thrust. This motor recommends a prop size of 9 or 10, 9 to 10 inches. So the pitch is up to you. If you go for a 10-inch prop, I'm sure it will be a slow flyer, a very stable flyer. So the choice is yours. You have to do a little bit of research and development on what kind of props will give what speed at the higher end and what speed at the lower end and what kind of a stability it gives. So that's it. This is all about my High Flyer Edition 2. So hope it flies well. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.